just recently put out a article that says the title says Americans are saying no to sex like never before, with young men leading the depressing trend. So
they ain't asked me nothing. They didn't ask me. I didn't get a survey, a Google sheet, or nothing.
Americans are losing interest in sex. A government study has found with one astonishing age group, rates of sexlessness are climbing from coast to coast among adults 22 to 34. Statistics plucked from the newly unsheathed National Survey of Family Growth showed with 10% of young males and 7% of their female counterparts saying they are still virgins. For some young adults, sexlessness has roughly doubled across all measures over the last 10 years or so. For young adult females, it has risen by 50%. The survey is conducted annually, and researchers have conducted face-to-face interviews with American men and women ages 15 to 49. A whopping 24% of males 24 to 34 had not had sex in 2022 and 2023, up from 9% in 2013 and 2015. And for females, it's up. It was 13%, up 8% from the previous years. Now, they attribute this to being that during COVID, we weren't able to actually go outside. So they're saying that has a lot to do with it. But they also throw in this point at the very end. They say that in late last year, a surprising survey suggested that married men age slower than their single counterparts. And the catch is they have to stay married. Separation, divorce, or death of a spouse were seen to be negative impacts. And what they're suggesting is because you are married, you are having more sex than actual people who are single.
Well, I can tell you some of this data is not factual.
Right.
I can tell you some of this data is not true. All right, and we need to fact check this.
Yeah,
because
it's somewhat misleading because they are the individuals who've never had sex. Not that they aren't having sex.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a both and. They aren't having sex because they haven't had it.
But, but the reason why there's two parts to that. I'll touch on the married part later. But the increased rate of sexlessness, I think that may be more true for one population than the other. I would have more belief that women.
You want to see a demographic breakdown?
Well, they kind of already broke down the demographics. I would
break it down further, like, as far as race, ethnicity,
like race,
all of that kind of thing.
No, not even necessarily. No, not even necessarily. I would say that I believe more so that women have been choosing to be sexless than men are choosing to be sexless. I think that
this article says that
I know what it says, that men are choosing to be sexless, but when women control access to sex, if you can't successfully,
you would
get
think
sex,
those numbers would be higher.
you have no choice but to forego sex because you can't accomplish. You know, I feel like if using that data, women are predominantly becoming more in tune with being sexless, and as they have grown, the numbers for men being sexless has to grow because they have to provide.
One controls the other, vice versa.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that men aren't choosing it, but I really feel like the women's choice to be sexless is increasing the men's percentage.
Yeah.
I feel like more of them would want to be actually participating in sex. If I'm being, truthfully honest about the data. I mean, I find it interesting. Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't think people are collectively saying no to sex as much as people like to say.
Well, I thought that statistic was actually I would love to look at the numbers per se, because with the rise of applications that are coming out, the dating applications, Tinder and all that type of stuff, I would imagine that is going up even higher, because nowadays if you want it, you can easily find it. You know what I'm saying?
If you want it, but they obviously have made a decision not to.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Get down like that.
That's true. Now, what was you saying about marriage, though?
They lying. Married people don't have sex.
Let's be honest.
I am. Okay. I just told you.
Let's be honest. Let's have a reflection. When we were single, ballpark figure.
Man, I'm not putting my business out there. Next question.
Create that ballpark figure in your mind. Let's just go monthly. right? That ballpark figure in your mind monthly. Compared to marriage.
Decline.
Really?
Yes. Why are you
The
acting
reason-
like
the
that?
reason
This
why-
why I get mad, bro.
No.
This why I get mad when married people.
No.
We know for a fact that sex slows down in marriage. As in the beginning, there's a lot of it. As you get more comfortable, as you get more in marriage, as things started, it goes down.
Yes.
Like sex goes down. It declines.
Sure.
It's just across the board.
Okay.
It declines.
I
Like
agree.
if we just holistically look at it, of course we can get into nuanced situations depending on someone's lifestyle, if they have kids in the home, their age, some of those things matter. But collectively speaking, through marriage, it goes down, and married people don't be having sex. That's why the infidelity rate rises. That's why all these other things come about, because people are not having sex. That's one of the biggest complaints with divorce and stuff. Like when you go in, most of the men are complaining about the lack of intimacy, the lack of sex. We're not having sex, and that's where a lot of the issues come from. So to sit here and be trying to act like married people are having sex, we're not. Single people are having way more sex than married people, and that is why most of them are not in a rush to get married. They're doing all the stuff that married people were supposed to be able to brag about now. So they're like, why do I need to get married? There's no point in me getting married because I can do all the stuff that you can do now. And I'm actually having more fun being free, being able to do it without really no attachments. I can get up and leave and do what I want to do if I want to.
Well, I'm not necessarily comparing a marriage as it progresses to versus the beginning of marriage. I'm also saying marriage collectively versus single. Like when we were single, we spent, I think the reason why we elevate our single experiences, our sexual experiences, is because when we were single, it was, like you said, more exciting and things of that nature, because oftentimes you didn't know where it was coming from. And so you would have to...
I'm not looking over there.
Well, I knew where it was coming from. I don't know about you, but
Yo,
let's just say you didn't have a regular.
hey, listen. I don't know about you,
And that's the reason why we hate saying stuff around you. I'm just saying, if you didn't have a regular that you were frequently with back when we were single, you spent more time looking than you actually did getting. And so we elevated we elevated as much as we do over marriage, because when we got it, it was so amazing because I spent so much time looking for it. Then that's the reason why we glorify that more than when we actually do when we are married. But if we actually look at the numbers wise, statistically, marriage, I would probably back up the concept that we have it more. Now I think what you're actually saying is we don't have it as frequently as I would like.
You're talking about the quantity. I'm talking about the frequency.
I'm talking about quantity. Yeah.
Of course, you've done it more because you've been married for 15 years.
Yeah.
So you've done it more,
just
by proximity's sake. But frequency-wise, depending on someone's marriage, like their makeup, occupation, whatever it is, like the frequency is not as much. So as a single person, you're having sex more often than married people are, and that's just the truth. So I don't know why people keep they're not doing it. If you've been married for any length of time, you know that's the truth. If you go to marriage counselors, if you go to marriage seminars, if you look at, most of the time the arguments come from the men about there being no intimacy, there being no sex. And for most men, that's the hesitation for wanting to get married, because they look over at their married friends, they hear the stories, they see the stuff on TV. So they're hesitant about, do I want to get married and give up this lifestyle that I have, this frequency? Like, yeah, you doing it now because you excited and you got hope that we gonna get married. But once you have it and we get married, are you gonna keep this up? The answer is probably no. So do I want to take that risk, or do I want to keep doing what I'm doing right now? And then if this don't work out, be free to walk away and not lose all my assets and stuff like that. It's just, it don't make what they don't do it, and I don't like that. I don't like that we lie to people like that. I'm not saying that's not amazing and stuff like that. It's not as frequent, and we know that. And then if you add kids into the mix, it goes down even more. So by the time you done work, by the time your wife done work, by the time people done took care of the kids, done practice, homework, all that type of stuff, they be tired. They ain't got no energy. They don't want to have sex. The last thing they want to do is see you stick your meat in their face or something like that. After they have done all that stuff all day, that's the last thing that they want to, experience. So then you're not doing it as often, and that's where the frustration comes from. Because for us, sex is important. We need it to govern and function throughout the day and the week and stuff like that. And not like I could confidently say that about most men. You need to do it, and when you don't do it, it puts you in a different headspace because you can't get it. And for a lot of people, it's easier to rationalize not getting it when you're single because it makes sense. If I'm single and trying to get some, and if I'm not successful or it doesn't come as often, to me, I can rationalize it. Like, all right, I don't got nobody.
Yeah.
I don't got nobody. But when I'm laying in the bed next to somebody every night and I still can't get it, you start like, this ain't what I was expecting. This ain't what I signed up for. Now I got an attitude. Get it? Like, so what are we talking about?
I'm just saying, and I get it. You're doing a qualitative approach to it. I've also had a quantitative approach to it in the sense of looking at it. But you're right. Infrequency has been one of the things that has caused the demise of the marriage institution. And as Lace knows, I'm really big on the institution of marriage. I stand 10 toes. I stand 10 toes on it. And I think if that is one of the things that we could address as married couples, I think it would be one of the things that would revolutionize the whole concept of marriage. I think the problem is that oftentimes we grow tired of the act instead of having appreciation for the person who is in the act with you. So I'm being serious.
I'm listening to you.
I'm being serious. If we grow more in appreciation for the person, and I'm talking, and this is my qualitative approach to it. If we grow more appreciative of the person that we with, now it then becomes more over. At the beginning, I believe it's more so like just getting it out of you. But over a course of time, it's like, yo, I'm actually making a connection with this individual versus just getting my rocks off or my pleasure or something like that. So I think what has to happen is over a course of time, partners have to look at each other and say, internally, and like, yo, I really enjoy this individual. And regardless if this is the same plain Jane thing over and over again, I'm glad that I'm with this individual, and that will increase the innate ability for us to want it more and more and more.
Bruh, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear, because basically what you're trying to do is say don't focus on the quantity, focus on the quality. Is what you're trying to say. But two things can happen. I can frequently have quality connection and sex with this person. It does not have to be infrequent. In fact, every interaction we have could be extremely quality if we do it. I don't feel like we should continuously be but expressing to men that they just need to be satisfied with getting it whenever they getting it, and just be happy that you're getting it, and learn how to find the enjoyment in the quality. When it's like,
but that's not what I'm saying.
Kind of.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying just enjoy when you get it.
He's saying the
appreciation of the person
and the connectivity.
And I do appreciate this person, and that's why I want to connect more often.
But he's more so looking at it from an intimate.
It is intimate
connection.
Yeah,
you're looking at it from an intimate connection, but I think it's from somewhat of a different lens.
Yeah, and I'm not looking. I'm looking at elevating the person that I'm with over the getting my rocks off.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? But you are saying I just want it
because I appreciate this person and the connection, and it is enjoyable when I want to connect with them.
Right.
So I want to do this more often because I enjoy this person what we're doing.
But you also mentioned that I need this type of stuff.
And you do.
And you do need it. I could completely understand. But it's just like, I need this and I need you type of thing. But I think what we have done is we've elevated needing this more than needing you.
But
and it might be
have you to have this.
I don't think that we're elevating. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that we're elevating.
But you're looking at it from a reverse lens where I want this, I need this, and I also need you. But if I need you, I'm going to get this. So how do we make it the best?
And I want this. I want this frequently.
Right.
Like I just don't want to keep leaving that point. Like our needs are different in the relationship. Our needs are different. In most cases, men are gonna need or want it more than their spouse, and that's just what comes with it. And this is my argument quite a bit, and I feel like a lot of times women are begging us for monogamy, but they don't want all the stuff that comes with it. This is part of monogamy. If you want me to not be talking to nobody else, if you want me to not be with anybody else under the sanctity of our relationship and loyalty and faithfulness to you or whatever, that means that you have to be all things to me. All the things that I need and want has to come from you because you don't want me to get it from nobody else. So if I need to interact with you, if I need to have sex with you, if my sex drive is a little bit higher than yours or higher than the average person, whatever, that comes with this relationship.
Yeah.
What it do, though? It's your boy, Dr. Life Coach Lace, a.k.a. NBA Old Boy, a.k.a. I'm him, a.k.a. the menace no relation to Dennis. Look, stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin. We need you to stop what you're doing right now. Subscribe to the potty. We know you love listening to us. We bring a lot of great content, great conversation, a lot of fun, jovial conversation across the board. So tap in with us. Make sure after you subscribe, please like so that we can showcase that you care, that we care for you, and that we bring in the heat to everything that we do. So lock in with us, Manly D's Podcast. Share it with your entire community, your entire network, because we bringing the real to the real.